Good morning, and welcome to another ironic introduction to another video. Today, I'm going to be talking about the three basic ways I believe you can start a fight. And so first up here, I have Aegon in just a 1v1 arena, just to show as an example. And this is what I would call a quick draw. This is essentially where you do a light attack to start. You can do a medium attack, but a light attack is much more consistent. But you do a light attack to start, and you just kind of hammer away at the right side of the screen, hoping you can get the first hit in. This is most beneficial in the arena, where if for some reason you get parried, you are not on a node where you will get immediately punished, and you are roughly against a similar PI opponent. So even if you get punished, like even when you're like setting up your infinite streak, you're only going to lose somewhere between 30 and 40% of your health bar, and if you play the rest of the fight carefully, you can still turn the fight around and win. But also, I find it works in Alliance Quest, any map under like 3 and below. I believe you can quick draw every single fight except for the boss nodes and potentially the mini boss nodes. I still play the mini boss nodes simply out of good habit. And then in Alliance Quest 4, everything that isn't like a specialty node or enhanced node, so just like the generic fights, the sentinels, etc., I start with a quick draw every time, because the worst case scenario for me that I've seen so far is they start the fight with a dodge, and you do have to react to the dodge. So if you go for the quick draw, you only want to get like 1 or 2 hits in, because if you go for that third hit, they will dash in and punish you. So like 1 or 2 hits, and then you can put a block up or dodge back and put your block up, and you'll probably even get a parry immediately afterwards. But that said, also like Act 4 and below, you can generally start with a quick draw. Act 4 is roughly where I would suggest that you switch to one of the other 2 techniques. But let me show you how the quick draw works here really quick. Oh, sorry, turned my phone off on accident. My apologies. That was a new mistake. Okay, so let me show you the quick draw. It's very simple. And you can see, even though Black Widow went for a quick draw herself, you as a player have priority in these lower PI fights. And the reason I think that is, and the reason why the other 2 methods will come up, is I believe the AI or the computer controlled character is intentionally delayed. I believe that they want you as a player to have the first input command. But because of the way animation speed works, because blocking is so much quicker and dodging puts distance between you and the computer, those 2 take priority over even a quick draw. So if a PC were to block, even if the input is after you've input your quick attack or your light attack, the block will still cause a parry. And that's why this next one is going to be a parry start or a block start. I'm going to jump into a higher PI fight here, just because this is best exampled if I can show you in a higher fight. Let's do a duel really quick. So let me pull up someone in my alliance really quick and duel them. Because I want to show you this block start, and I believe it really only works best if you are against a higher PI opponent, as higher PI opponents tend to be more aggressive. And the block start is really only relevant if they're aggressive. Less aggressive champions won't attack you to start, and if they don't attack you to start, you're holding your block there and you just look like an idiot, and then like you go for a light attack and you get parried because they drop their guard. So that's like when the quick draw is more relevant. So this is the block start. Let me show you how this works. And you can see, got the parry right away, get to move back into an intercept medium attack, and I'm not actually going to play this through just so you don't have to. But the reason the block start is so good is against higher PI opponents that are, programmed to be aggressive, are significantly more likely to start the fight with an attack. And if they start the fight with an attack with a block start, you can get an instant parry, and with that instant parry, you can punish immediately, start the fight off really strong. Champions like Ronin, who I use Suicide Masteries with, benefit a lot from this kind of start. Other champions who benefit from short fights as well will benefit from this, but mostly it's more important to say champions that don't benefit from longer, slower played fights should use a block start at higher level content regardless, as well as if you know the opponent wants to benefit from a longer fight, you should start with a block start just to be more aggressive. But there are a lot of champions who benefit strictly from a different kind of start. One example is Ghost, who starts with a dodge start, but I also believe that Hyperion benefits from a dodge start. So a dodge start is a kind of like other form that you could have, and instead of blocking, you go for a dodge. What this does is it delays the timer of the fight. So essentially, at the beginning of the fight, when you block, we'll go block parry into a combo. When you dodge start, you can go dodge parry or dodge intercept into a combo, and it adds that fraction of a moment of increased time. And what that increased time will allow is for champions like Hyperion, you will have your power gain up essentially quicker. So once you're comboing in, the power gain will have already taken effect, and so you will have more power over the course of the whole of the fight. You have other champions who benefit from it, like Ghost. Of course, you dodge start to phase. I believe Ebony Maw, you will dodge start just to get the falter and the focus building up. I'm having trouble thinking. Oh, Karnak is a really good example. He has a 9-second timer on his buff, and so you really want to be hitting your opponent as little as possible before your buff is up, because the more you punch them, the more you have to bait specials out before your buff is up, and honestly, the less damage you're getting off per amount of special you're giving your opponent. And so these are just a handful of examples. Other people you want to dodge start against are champions that you know that you can't parry properly, or will be punished for parrying. So one example is going to be Groot, who has reduced duration. So if you're like up against a Groot in Alliance War who will have limper as well as the reduced debuff duration, you don't really want to parry start him, as you might find yourself in an awkward situation where you like parry start and then he immediately shrugs it and then he punches you in the face. Or a Rogue, if you like parry start a Rogue, you're in this awkward bind. Another way to handle that is if you're gonna parry start champions who can shrug off stuns, that you do keep in mind that when you do that, you should hold your block just a little bit for like a fraction of a second and then go straight for a light attack if they remain stunned. Because if they remain stunned for longer than like 0.2, 0.3 seconds, they're probably not going to shrug it off. Sometimes you get some like weird lag delays and it happens, and that's unfortunate. That's just a part of the game. But this is a dodge start, and I'm going to example it with Hyperion just so you can see. And you can see it went dodge straight into parry, and the timer on my power gain has already begun. It's already well into it. And I will follow this video up at some point with what I call slow playing a fight. And so slow playing a fight, well, I'll explain that at a future date. But those are the ways to start a fight. And in my opinion, unless you know you need to end the fight quicker, right? So like if you're playing against a Hyperion, you're going to want to go for the parry start. But if you are the Hyperion, you are going to want to go for a dodge start. Because what it will do is in the long run, you will have a better start to your fight. You're kind of taking advantage, right? So like by doing a dodge start, you get this like starting advantage in the fight. And that will in the long run save you health, it will save you potions, and it will help you clear fights easier. That said, this has gone on a little bit longer than I wanted to. I mean, it always does, but I will talk to you later.